Location, Banco Orbital, downtown Buenos Aires, Argentina. Time, midnight, long after closing hours. In an abandoned warehouse tucked away in an industrial zone, 6 figures stood around a dusty metal table, 5 men and 1 woman. Their leader, a calm, silver-haired man in his early 50s named Rafael Solis, studied a 3D blueprint of one of South America's most secure financial institutions, Banco Orbital. Rafael's voice was low and steady. 1 minute of delay, and this turns into a death trap. Everyone knows their part. There's no room for error. The approach. A small truck with the logo Clean Services pulled up outside the bank. The team stepped out, dressed as late-night cleaners, pushing carts filled with disguised equipment. The bank's night guard opened the door without suspicion. Cleaning crews were scheduled. Infiltration. At exactly midnight, the power in the bank cut out. Backup generators kicked in. A small vulnerability that Felipe Ortega, the team's tech expert, exploited. With a few taps on his custom laptop, he disabled the security cameras and remotely unlocked interior doors silently. Break and enter. Camila, the locksmith and safecracker, moved quickly to the vault. The rest monitored the situation. She had a reputation for accuracy and speed, needing only minutes to bypass the electronic locks. Twists and turns. Just as the team reached the vault, an unexpected complication arose. A high-frequency whine pierced through the peaceful hum of their operation. It was an emergency alert triggering a lockdown, something hadn't accounted for. Rafael quickly divided tasks. Felipe focused on countering the alarm system, while the others secured their escape route. Camila continued her work, sweat beading on her forehead. Decisive moment. With a masterstroke of digital finesse, Felipe managed to temporarily suspend the lockdown measures, buying them crucial seconds. Meanwhile, Camila, with an exhilarating mix of urgency and finesse, finally cracked the vault, revealing bundles of cash. The departure. With bags filled, they retraced their steps, facing mounting tension. The head of security had been alerted and was on his way. Outside, in the fitting darkness, they loaded their haul into Clean, quietly slipping into the city's nightscape before dawn. Aftermath. Back at the warehouse, Rafael watched the sunrise with a half-smile. They had executed one of the most audacious heists in the history of Buenos Aires, without a trace. As the city awakened, the name Rafael Solis would soon become a whispered legend among those who lived in the shadowy margins of society. Their hit was clean, precise, and above all silent. Inside, the crew crawled through the air ducts and slid past motion sensors using advanced jamming tech. They moved like phantoms. The vault. Tiago Morales, the safecracker, worked his magic. Each touch of the keypad echoed in the silence. The tension was electric as he reached the final sequence. Suddenly, Isabella Vega, the lone woman on the crew, strayed from the group. She claimed she was checking the administrative floor. Moments later, she opened the bank manager's office door and froze. Ernesto Barros, the bank director, was slumped in his chair, a bullet hole in his chest. On the desk lay a handwritten note. Betrayal always begins from within. Isabella whispered into her earpiece. Target is dead. Rafael didn't flinch. Shut the door. We finish what we started. The escape. With the vault breached and millions in cash and gold loaded into their cart, the team exited through a maintenance tunnel. As they drove away, dollar bills fluttered from a loose case, dancing in the wind beneath a sleeping city. Detective Elio Nicolás de la Cruz arrived at the bank, facing a grim scene of a high-stakes crime. The vault was open, millions missing, and the trail cold. The dead bank manager lay at the center, a testament to the cunning behind the heist. The bank's security system, once thought sophisticated, was wiped clean. No fingerprints, no useful recordings, just a whiff of betrayal. Elio found a crumpled note. The closest are the most deceptive, hinting at internal conspiracy. The case was a political bomb in Latin America's financial sphere. Suspects appeared respectable but had shadows lurking. Adrian Calderon, a cybersecurity whiz, left abruptly, with dubious dollars linked to a Cayman company. Mauricio Aguirre, a lawyer with a secret affair, had a quarrel with the deceased manager over a vague client, lending him a suitable grudge. Solana Mendoza held secrets, blackmailed by Ernesto, the deceased manager. Emilio Ramirez, the security guardian, had connections as double-edged as a rapier, with a forgotten criminal past. Elio's investigation tied every suspect by motive and opportunity. An electronic whisper came and signed, "Focus on Mauricio and Solana. They're more than colleagues." A hint to lead, a game of persistence and insight. Elio needed to pull the threads right. Each day of the investigation drew Elio closer to justice, his reputation at stake. He was enveloped in a political game, unknown stories, and invisible alliances, all emerging from the bank's polished facade. Within the shadowed walls of Buenos Aires' financial district lay a labyrinth of deceit, threaded with whispers of corruption. Detectives found themselves amidst a power dynamic that was both intricate and lethal. The characters inside these walls were entangled in an audacious scheme orchestrated by an enigmatic entity called La Cuadra. Adrian, the once trusted IT specialist, had always had a penchant for discovering system vulnerabilities. His admission of selling this intelligence painted a picture of naivety. Or was it intentional ignorance? Did he know the third party were criminals? Or was his mind clouded by the promise of money? The stakes were high, and his position was crucial. He was the key to the tech gap. Across from Adrian, at a small metallic table, sat Mauricio and Solana. Together they faced the detectives, sweat pooling on their brows. Under the rising tension, Solana's resolve crumbled. Her admission explained a lever of fear Ernesto, their notorious manager, had held over her. Her fragility and Mauricio's cunning had them introduced to an elusive outsider, one who promised them a way out. Emilio was next, a soft-spoken man, caught in the whirlpool of events that gnawed at his conscience. His shaking hands told a tale before his lips did. The unfamiliar equipment he allowed into the building was supposed to be for a maintenance upgrade. Or so he convinced himself. Yet deep down, he felt the machinery of something more sinister was turning. The breakthrough came unexpectedly, residing in a flash drive, hidden away in the manager's drawer. A voice recording unveiled Ernesto's treachery. He was leaking confidential client information to a black market ring. His manipulative control over his employees put Mauricio in a position to barter for Solana's immunity. Mauricio convinced Solana to sow chaos within the vault room. Thus, the path for La Cuadra's grand scheme unraveled. As the detectives stitched the puzzle together, it became evident. This wasn't a mere vault heist. It was a move in a southward checkmate, orchestrated by La Cuadra to unsettle economies and reposition power. Meanwhile, on a serene beachfront in Nicaragua, Rafael Solis closed his newspaper, the headline "Bank Mastermind" still at large, eliciting nothing more than a muted smile. He merged with the colorful tapestry of tourists. Back in Buenos Aires, Detective Elio remained at his window, contemplating the skyline. The arrests had been made, but as the night grew, he knew more mysteries would soon emerge from the city's pulsating heart. Thus, as he whispered into the darkness, "The curtain has dropped, or so they think." The saga of shadows continued.